Welcome to Fidelia, Brett. This is a channel where we talk about starting a business, scaling a business, starting a career, or changing a career. So it's just all about improving how you do things. So starting business, scaling business, this is what we talk about in this channel. Hi, I'm Fidelia Brett. And in today's topic, we're going to be talking about 5, 6, 7 steps to scale your business. So what do we do when we talk about scaling a business? So to scale a business is you've already started that business and the business has been successful in the last year, in the last 2 years, or in the last 3 years, and now you're thinking to go on to the next stage or on to the next step. So that's how you scale, because what you've been doing has been getting you clients and you now want to move on to the next offering. So we're going to use cakes as an example. So you've been doing cupcakes in the last year or in the last 2 years of your business, and your market has predominantly been birthday parties, either children's parties or normal parties. So that's who your clientele has been, or you've been supplying your cupcakes to prior to you wanting to scale. So now that you're thinking of wanting to scale, the clientele you're now looking for are either people who are wanting to have a wedding or people who are looking to have like a celebration kind of cake. So you don't want to just do only cupcakes. You now want to start doing bigger cakes where you are now providing it to a bigger clientele. So you have to sort of look at it and say, okay, what is it that you need to do to be able to sort of meet that target market that you are wanting to now start producing and providing your cakes to, which are not just only cupcakes. Or it could be that you've been doing cakes and you now want to start doing cookies on the side, which is still like a confectionery as well. So who would want to have that product that you're producing, or make or eat whatever it is that you're making? So basically what you're now looking to do is, I want to now move on to the next step. So how am I going to scale this business so that I can get to where I need to be? So one of the first things you need to look at is you need to understand, as I said earlier on, who you're offering this service to or this market to. So it's understanding your offering and understanding the market. Who is it that you're going to sell to that you were not selling to before, that you now want to start selling to once you move on to the next stage? So that's number one. Number two, optimizing your positioning. So with your positioning, you know where you used to basically base your business. It was either from home, or you had a store, or you were selling online, or whatever it was that you were doing. So how are you optimizing how you do things? So if, let's say, you were selling from home, were you always doing things manually? Pardon me. Were you doing things manually? Do you have to now move onto a system or a software that can help you simplify the way you do things, so that it makes it easy for you to start selling? It makes it easy for you to sort of make money without putting too much effort into what you're doing. So that's the second one, optimizing your positioning. The third one is checking your finances. So how much have you got in the bank to be able to move on to the next stage? If you don't have enough money, what funding is available out there for you to be able to scale onto the next stage? There are loads of funding that you can get if your business is still within, I'm going to use the UK as an example because I'm UK based. If your business is still less than 3 years old, you can still get a startup fund for that business, because it's still classed as new. So you don't have to be literally fresh with a fresh idea and wanting to sort of start in the market. So you can still get funding to help you out to move that business onto the next stage. But of course, if you're going to get funding, they're going to ask for a business plan, they're going to ask for a marketing plan, they're going to ask for quite a few things. So you have to be ready and prepared to be able to provide whatever they ask you to move on to the next stage if you're looking for funding, if you don't have that funding already in-house. Or you can go to your friends and family and ask for a fund. Then you give them a return on whatever funds they give to you. So you could sort of say to them, loan me XYZ amount of money for a year, and in a year's time I'll give you a percentage based on what you've loaned me, so that I can scale my business onto the next stage. But you sort of have that discussion with your family. So the same as you go into various organizations to ask for funding, that would help you out to scale your business onto the next level. Then the fourth one is getting whatever strategy so getting whatever strategy that you've decided to do to scale that business on paper. So as I said at the last one, which is they're going to be asked for a business plan. So that's putting that strategy in a plan to say, this is what I want to do in the next 3 years' time. This is what I want to be doing in the next 5 years' time. This is where I want the business to be in the next 10 years. So you have to sort of look at that projection and that scale of your business, where it is now and where you want it to be in 3 years' time, or even in 2 years' time, in 5 years' time, and in 10 years' time, so that you can see the growth of what you're planning and what you're projecting into the future while you're scaling your business, as well as you should sort of identify what trends you might need to change, what challenges you might meet along the way, how much you might have to budget for certain things like marketing, advertising, recruiting. So you're sort of having to put all that on paper. Then that would help you plan and move forward onto the next step. Then the fifth one is housekeeping. You need to go through what it is that you were doing prior to where you are now, because once you start scaling, you are now moving on to a bigger playing field. You are probably going to be involved now either with a business partner, or you might be involved now with like more high range clientele, which would require certain documentation, which will require certain things that you might not have been doing prior to wanting to scale. So you just have to look at general housekeeping to see what is it that you currently have in place, what don't you have in place, what do you need to create, so that once you get to that, you start getting that clients in and they start asking you for certain information or asking you for certain documents, you already have that good to go, and you're not sort of going around in circles. So it's like, oh, I don't have that, give me like a day or two. You could lose that client at the back of that. So just do some general housekeeping and go out and see what it is that you need to have in place prior to you wanting to scale, and check in to see how things are and how things could be once you move up the ladder in your chosen field. The sixth one is your operation. Your operation is your day-to-day stuff. What you do on a day-to-day basis from the minute you wake up to the minute you go to sleep. You've been doing it in the last year, you've been doing it in the last 2 years, or you've been doing it in the last 3 years. But because you're now moving on to a bigger playing field, you now have to look at things differently. And operations is quite vital, because it's not just only one person, it's now going to be more than one person involved. So you have to now break it all down on little chunks of what do I need to do, when do I need to do certain things, who needs to be involved in those certain stages. And if you know you can't do it all, then outsource it. You can get people to help you out in, let's say, if it's like admin work, or if it's like writing proposals, or if it's like doing market research, or if it's literally getting leads. You can get all those kind of skill set from places like Fiverr or places like Upwork. You can get those skill set to help you out in those little aspects, so that you're not having to spend so much time dealing with your day-to-day paperwork, or dealing to finding clients, or finding leads, or just going through the internet to see what's out there and what's not out there. You can outsource it, and it's not going to cost you a lot of money to get someone to help you out in those areas to get the information you need, so that you can then work on it. So it's just sort of being smart. If you haven't watched the video on having smart goals, watch it, because it gives you an idea of how you need to plan and make smart goals in your business and in your day-to-day life, so that once you start in certain aspects, you are moving in the right direction, and you're not sort of going back and having a revolving circle of doing the same thing but not doing it right. So just have to be smart and planning things and ensuring that you are having smart goals, and you are being smart in running your business and running the operational aspect of your business. Then the last one is scaling your team. So as I said earlier on, team-wise, you might just have had just you or one other person. So you might not necessarily have done payroll, or you might not have done quite a lot of things, because it's just been yourself and you. So now you might have to hire team members to come and support you to move up in this business. So if you have freelancers, you don't necessarily have to manage them, but if you're going to have team members like employees, where you're having to pay them a salary on a payroll and having to pay their taxes, or in the UK we have national insurance and taxes as well as pension, then you now have to look at it and say, okay, what do I need to do? How do I need to employ people? Where am I even going to find them? And how do I ensure that the recruitment whole process works for me and works for my business? So it's having to put all what you need into a little document, so that once you put out an ad saying, oh, I need someone to help me out in this business, then you have the right set skills applying. And when you start filtering through, you can tell who can help you out. Once you start doing your interviews, you can pick the right team members for your team to help you scale. There's a saying that says, a great team is what builds your business. So if you pick the right sets of team members, they will take your business to the roof. So get the same people that have the same values as you, have the same passion as you. They might only want to do this as a job, but always get the people who buy into your vision and your mission, because they're the ones that will help your business grow. And you have to invest in them, and they will invest in you. Because if you don't invest in them and expecting them just to do a job, they're not going to give it their all. So you have to invest in your team, and your team has to invest in you. So those are my 7 tips on checklist for scaling your business. So I hope this have been helpful. I hope my 7 tips sort of gives you an idea of what it is that you need to look at once moving your business onto the next level and literally shooting to the roof. So I'm going to recap it again. The first one is understanding your offering and your market. The second one is optimizing your positioning. Your finances is the third one. Your fourth one is checking the strategy and ensuring that you've got that documented, because that will keep you in check. Your fifth one is doing basic housekeeping to ensure that you are doing things the right way and just ensuring that everything is running smoothly and you've got everything good to go. The fifth one is housekeeping. Then the sixth one is operations, running your business on a day-to-day, what you need to do and what you don't need to do. And the last one is your team, scaling your team, ensuring you hire the right people who have the right vision, who understands where you want your business to grow to and how you want them to impact your business in a positive way. So just get the right people around you and your business will shoot for the stars. So I hope these 7 tips of scaling your business has been helpful. If it has, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, turn on your notification, and we'll see you in next week's video. Bye.